Okay guys, today we have the keys to this Chevrolet Corvette C8. This is the Stingray one, and as well this is also the convertible. So starting off on the outside, as you guys can see that this car is torch red. That is one of the two red colors as car options. So here's the key fob to the car. You obviously have your remote start, you have your front and trunk, and then you have your convertible. So let's try it out. Let's see if this works. So that was real time. That is how long it actually took to open the roof. I didn't speed up the video or anything, just because I wanted you to see it. So as you can see, the top is down. So the difference between the convertible and the coupe mainly on the outside looks is normally this would be a little glass cover and you wouldn't really have these pillars. It would kind of just be like a smoother top. I preferably like the style of the coupe better, just because I like the way that this looks on that. But yeah, so starting off with, we'll start off with the trunk space. So if you wanted to, you can open it in here with your key fob. And then you have plenty of space. So if I wanted to put my backpack in there, I could easily do that. So I'll just fix that up. Yeah, I could easily fit my backpack in there. And then just want to close it. And there you go. The back space is a bit more deeper. If you did get the coupe, I believe this whole thing would have opened up and you could have seen your engine bay. But clearly you see you have enough space. You got baby wipes inside. But yeah. Now, let's head on the inside and hear the car. Alright. So also, if you're inside, you could, right here, as you guys can see, this is for your trunk and rear button, as well as this is for your sunroof. We'll start off and go over more of the interior. We will be putting the roof up, so let's start it up. And the car's on. And there you go, the roof is coming up. And as you guys can see, the roof is now up. And so we'll now go over the interior bit. So over here you do have your window controls, as well as your sunroof controls and the back glass if you wanted to put that down. Obviously you have your center display right here. You do have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto in this car, or you can just go to the main screen. You can pull up your cameras if you wanted, your back camera, a wider angle. I believe that is your front. And yeah, so over here you do have your AC controls as well. So it is one nice big line. In the new 2026 models, this is like a grab handle and your controls are here, and your screen is a bit different in the new 2026 models. So you have heated and cooled seats, and then just your regular air conditions. Here you have your drive mode selector, or your gear selector, and your drive mode selector if you wanted. So you can put in sport, tour, my mode, weather, and then track, I believe is the last one. So we're just gonna leave it in tour mode. And then back here you do also have a wireless charger, I believe. Yep. And then you have a nice little space there if you want to keep something small, but I probably wouldn't recommend it just because you might forget it, and people do like to switch their driver's seats. So let's just adjust my seat, and then obviously you have two cup holders right here if you wanted, and a nice little center console with some change in it. So yeah, let's get going. Let's put the foot on the brake, pull up on the drive, and the parking brake will release. So before we get going, we will talk about blind spots on this car. So as you guys can see, your whole pillar right there is blind spot. You do have a digital camera in this car, so that is good, but your blind spots are pretty big. That's why the mirrors are kind of set up like this way, so that way, you know, it makes up for those blind spots. But it does not have I do not believe this car has blind spot monitoring. Actually, maybe it does. I think my brother was driving it and said it doesn't have it. I kind of see the little marks on the blind spots, so we'll test it out when we're on the road. But yeah, when I first was driving this car, I kind of realized that the shape of this car is a bit weird, just because it is kind of like a sports car. So I was like, I can't judge the front end and like the front end and like the width or whatever as like I could in a regular car. But now I've driven it a little bit and I kind of gotten used to it. You do also have a front end lift, I believe, right here. Yeah, right here you do have your front end lift, as well as a button for traction control and your front cameras. So now that we're on the highway, as you guys can see, like shoulder check does not really exist. You can see on your screen, you can check your trip. You can, on the right side of it as well, you can check your performance, your audio, maintenance. So you can check your engine oil, transmission fluid, transmission filter, and then you can just change some options. And yeah, display design. So as you can see, so we can switch it to, while we're in tool mode, to the sport design, or if you wanted to put it to the track design, let's see what that looks like. So yeah, now you can see we have in track, so you can see your tire pressures, your coolant, and then just your main speed in the middle. But we'll just put it back to link to drive mode. And I will just simplify. We will just leave this one as, oh, I don't like that. So if you go all the way to the end, you can't keep pushing it to go back to the other side. You have to obviously manually go back all the way through. So the steering wheel here has, like, it's flat at the top and the bottom, so like kind of like a sports car feel, like obviously this is. You do also have pretty big and paddle shifters, as well as on the steering wheel you do have your heated steering wheel right here. If you wanted to do that, I'm going to turn it on a bit just because I want a nice little toast seat. And I'll turn on the heated seats just because it is 8:30 in the morning. It's a bit chilly out, but obviously it'll probably heat up later in the day. So let's test out. See, these cars are passing me on the right. I cannot see that car. The blind spot monitoring is not turning on. There's another truck. Let's see if it turns on for that as well. And no. Even on this side, you can see it's not showing any of the vehicles or anything. And maybe the mirrors are set up, or this car just doesn't have it, but it just shows it has it. So driving this car, I forgot how to hear the steering wheel on. That feels nice. So driving this car, you know, you might, it is a bit low to the ground, so getting in and out is kind of difficult, but there is a small door seal, so it's kind of easier. As well as, you know, you gotta be careful when you're getting in, because the other day I was getting in, or I think yesterday I was getting in, and I kind of like smacked my head on the roof. I just kind of wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so be careful of also that. But driving, you know, you're low to the ground. It feels fine driving. You know, I think when you first get into sports car, you do have to figure out that front end. It did feel so weird to me when I first drove this car. But honestly, I do like the C8 Corvettes. They are nice, as well as fun to drive. So let's just exit over here. You do also have your cruise control options on the left, as well as your forward, I think, collision warnings, as well as fun for your phones, volumes, you know. And then you have your Z mode, which I think just puts you in the performance mode, but we're gonna switch that back to her. You also do have a heads-up display. When you did put it in Z mode, it became I don't know if you guys saw like the tachometer, I believe it's called, or the odometer. Like right here, it did pop up there. But yeah, getting off the highway, we'll do a little indicator sound test. And we'll see how this car turns. This guy is coming close to me in the CRV. All the way to the right lane. So I don't know if you guys can see your heads-up display. So what it basically just tells you is your speed and what gear you're in. So firstly, I'm in drive, and I'm also in third gear. So basically just this portion it shows me right now on the heads-up display. I do believe that does change with whatever mode you're in. Obviously when I put it in Z mode, it was a bit different. So headroom, I have, for me, to the convertible, if I'm sitting directly like this, I have it like this. But if I lay down a little bit, I do have a bit more headroom. Legroom, I'm not hitting this. I just have my one leg rest up against this and my other leg against the door. And obviously, I will, if I do straight, I am kind of hitting the wheel. And this is the lowest the seat can go. Oh, I can't move it further back. Okay, so if I move it more back, I can move it more down, essentially. So I can sit like this and barely, like, not be touching just my jeans, or just barely touching that. So I can fit in this car, and then obviously I have a lot more headroom. So for me being like 6'1½", I do fit in this car. We will turn right here. So yeah, well look, so as you can see, there is a Bronco right there. As you can see, he's completely disappeared. You can't see him in the camera and with the ways the mirrors are set up. But if I was to shoulder check, you would have to like lean up and look, kind of. But yeah, let's see what is on this side. This side you do have controls for your brightness, your info, and your this changes your screen. So now I have like a little tachometer. That is, I believe, the sport ones. That one shows me like a navigation too. This is just a regular one. Yeah, so you can use this info button right here to change what your heads-up display shows. So we'll put it back in that one. Here, right here you have your unlock and lock button, and then that's to open the door. Nice little cubby down here. It is softer kind of material, as you guys can see right there, like a little fabric behind. So this car going over bumps, it does soften. Like you can still feel the bumps, but not as much as I thought you would in this car. Like I thought it would be more of a feeling just because of the sports car and like the suspension on these. But we are in tour mode, so I believe that softens the suspension. So accelerating, as you guys just saw, like I'm actually just casually accelerating. It doesn't have the need to go fast. Like it's not like you're driving and the car just wants you to zoom on it, like it actually could, you could daily this car. Like obviously you have two trunks, you have the front and then the trunk in the back, so you could fit groceries. Would not recommend putting a car seat in here. It would be, obviously you'd have to put it right here in the front seat. I mean, there's only 2 seats, and obviously the airbags are all right here, so I would not recommend putting a car seat. But you could have your child here, or you can have this car as to take your wife out on a date or anything. You know, this could be your daily, and then you can give your wife an SUV as like the mom car. But yeah, I'm actually really excited. I've actually been waiting to make the video on this car just because I've been wanting to drive it again. Yeah, as you guys can see, the bumps are, you can still feel them. You can probably still hear them as well. So cool little trick with Corvettes that I'll tell you when I stop about the C8s. We're just gonna go into the dealerships. Yeah, you still kind of feel the bumps as well. It's not, you know, it is better than I expected, but it's still not the best, obviously. So we will turn right here, do a little overview of the car, and then we'll end the video there. I do believe there's a little cul-de-sac at the end of this that we can do. Okay, let's do a little turning radius test. So we'll pull right here. So turning radius test. Obviously it did it in like a nice tight circle. You can see I was just parked over there, and now we will pull over. Once we find a spot. Right now we'll pull over up there. Actually, we'll go by the Lamborghini dealership. As you guys can see, you got an SVJ right there. I don't think I've ever seen one in that color. Obviously, he's about to pull into the dealership right here. As you guys can see, you have some Reveltos in there. We'll do another turning radius test again, just because we'll do it more on a road instead of a little cul-de-sac. And then we'll just park up right there and do it. So we'll pull over right here, wait for these cars to go. We can just leave the indicator off for now. Oh, so the cool trick while we're waiting, let's say you're driving and you want to rev your car. Instead of putting it in neutral while you're driving and switching it back, if you pull both paddles, that will put you in like neutral, so you can rev your car if you wanted to, and then when you're done, just let it go. But yeah, let's make our U-turn now. So we'll turn the wheel all the way and go. So obviously we will not make it. We will have to stop, flick it back up for reverse, and your cameras do pull up. So let's just back up a bit, put it back in drive, and we are off. And then we will just pull over right here. Obviously this car does have sensors in the back. I did notice that when I was backing up earlier. But yeah, so we'll pull up the reverse camera again. You do have a nice quality resolution. You do have your trajectory lines as well. And then to put in park, just push the button. And then we'll put the parking brake on too. And yeah, the parking brake set. And then just push the power button right here. And now we can exit the vehicle after this van passes. Oh, I didn't push the button hard enough. So yeah, as you can see, you're not a big window seal. It's obviously easy. Just pay for it out, got the wheel, and you're out. It is not that difficult. So obviously we have the car again. I actually parked not too bad on the side, as well as, yeah, some things I did wish, and as you can see, I believe the car just locked as well. Some things I do wish that I did notice that I wish this car had. If you can see right here, the vent right here, it is like kind of open, so I kind of wish they had like a little black mesh thing, kind of like, I do believe also in the front that the rear might be exposed. So I kind of wish they had something like this, but more like lines or whatever, so that way it's like covered and not exposed. You can see your camera right here for your front, as well as on that side. Yeah, that'll be it. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.